At ease, Micro Militia, because we are back with yet another sleep token video. Now today we are diving into Give. So continuing on from the last song, which was Take Aim. So it seemed like he was giving himself in Take Aim pretty much. He was asking to be given. He was sacrificing himself almost, it seems. So we're gonna go ahead. Is this gonna escalate even quicker? Is this gonna escalate like even more? Where he's literally just like cutting body parts off or something, just trying to sacrifice himself to sleep? I don't know. But musically, again, it's kind of, who knows? Who knows where they're gonna be? I'm assuming some electronic stuff. I'm assuming pretty vocals. That's become pretty much a constant on this Sundowning album. So I have the lyrics pulled up, and let's go ahead and let's get into it. Very pretty color.
You take the dark and carve me out of home. I picture you when you are all alone. I know how we got here. I know how we got here. I am the shadow, you're a passenger. I am the intake of breath, so sharp and I know you better. Just wanna know you better. If you wanna give me what you can give. All your darkest impulses and if you wanna give me anything, then give it again. I'll tell the
Okay, before we hit that drop. So far, it's very like R&B kind. It's very much, again, electronic, not super electronic, not EDM sort of electronic, but it's very digitized. It's very non-acoustic instruments. And then something in the drums that's really standing out to me is that snare. It's not a typical acoustic snare drum that you would hear. It's an electric snare drum, and it has a super long hold time on it. So it's hitting and it's reverberating out. So it's just good. And it's kind of just carrying through. So that's very prominent in the drums right now. In terms of the vocals, he's kind of staying where we expect him to be in this album so far. Very high in the register, and he's kind of just singing right there. He's kind of just staying right there, and he's fluctuating from like that bass line, really high vocal. Very bass prominent too, not 808 bass, but more of just like a standard bass that you would get in the background. It's very heavy on that too, so that's fitting with this kind of whole dark theme they got going on right now. And for the lyrics, let's delve into it. You take the dark and carve me out a home. I picture you when you were all alone. I know how we got here. I know how we got here. Okay, so you take the dark and carve me out a home. Oh, and by the way, too, and shout out Emma Gale once again. I will put her comment on the screen here. She recommended that I listen to this song from Sleep's POV. So I'll do both. I'll kind of take in how it would be on Sleep's point of view and how it would be on Vessel's point of view. So I'll kind of be looking at the dichotomy of these two point of views. So you take the dark and carve me out a home. I picture you when you were all alone. I know how we got here. I know how we got here. So you take the dark, if we're looking at Sleep's POV right now, you take the dark and you carve me out a home. I picture you when you were all alone. I know how we got here. I know how we got here. So from Sleep's POV, we could think that this is Vessel carving out a home for Sleep in the dark. So he's like trying to like, here, this is a little, carve you out a little cave in my area. So I picture you when you're all alone. Okay, I know how we got here. I know how we got here. Obviously, if we're looking at it from Sleep's POV, I know how we got here. I'm sure Sleep, that being the ancient deity that he is, or it is, will know how know how obsessive people get to this position. I am the shadow, you're a passenger. I am the intake of breath, so sharp, and I know you better, just want to know you better. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. So, again, if we're looking at it from Sleep's point of view, he's saying, I am the shadow. That makes a bunch of sense. If this is from Sleep's POV, I am the shadow, you're a passenger. That totally makes sense. He is the darkness. He's Bane. You're a passenger. Vessel is Batman. Bane was born in the darkness. Batman merely adopted it. I am the intake of breath, so sharp, and I know you better. Again, that's really fitting into Sleep's kind of narrative there. Just want to know you better. But then that kind of switches. That seems to me more of a Vessel line. But if we look at it from Sleep's POV, so I am the intake of breath, so sharp. So again, he is that one. He is that intake of breath, so sharp. Vessel needs Sleep, and Sleep knows it. And I know you better, because again, Sleep knows some stuff. Sleep is saying, if we're assuming this is Sleep's POV, Sleep is saying, I know you better than you know you. That's maybe how he can manipulate him so easily. Just want to know you better. Now, again, that's where it gets a little bit difficult for me to kind of argue the fact that it is from Sleep's POV, because just want to know you better. If Sleep is this almighty being sort of situation we got going on, he wouldn't need to know nor have no interest in wanting to know him better. He knows plenty. He knows all he needs to know. Okay, and this might be a little bit of a longer one since we're doing two POVs here. But if we go back and just read it in the frame of Vessel. So you take the dark, carve me out a home. So Vessel makes a home for Sleep. No, vice versa. Sleep makes a home for Vessel in the dark. I picture you when you're all alone. I know how we got here. I know how we got here. So if Vessel picturing Sleep all when he's all alone, or when it's all alone, I wonder why. I wonder what significance that holds in the story. I know how we got here. I know how we got here. Well, how did we get here, and how are we going to fix it? So I am the shadow. You're a passenger. See, that's where I have a hard time arguing it's from Vessel's point of view. Because I don't think Vessel is the shadow and Sleep is a passenger. I'm just not buying that. Sleep is very much the shadow in this, and Vessel's very much the passenger. So in my opinion, how I'm reading this right now is we have a flip-floppy point of view thing going on here, where sometimes we're getting Sleep's POV, sometimes we're getting Vessel's point of view. Maybe I'm completely off. Maybe it's totally, I'm just getting in my own head. But just kind of interpreting those lines, there's dichotomy there. There's kind of opposite point of views in my mind. But let's just continue on and we'll see.
Watching
All right, so I just want to stop it right there. Kind of point out some stuff that's happening musically. Again, great layering. It's more full. We've hit, you know, the kind of pinnacle of the song right now. So we got into a really heavy groove. Drums are still not acoustic. Drums are still very much electric. And now we have some really cool background percussion stuff going on. So I 100% here. I know I've mentioned this before, but I can say pretty much without a shadow of a doubt, there's claves going on. That's the kind of wood, the high-pitched wood sound you hear in the background. If you listen to it, it's very easy to hear. It is far back in the mix, but the claves are designed to cut through sound. They're designed to pierce through so that you don't have to hit them very hard, but they're heard throughout an auditorium. So it's very hard to miss a live clave. And then also with that, we have a little bit of not really sure what this instrument is or how they're creating this sound or effect, but it's something along the lines of a shaker. Not so much a shaker, because a shaker usually keeps beat. It's like chicka 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 chicka. That's typically how you use a shaker, or even an egg, which is pretty much the same thing, a shaker egg. It could be sort of like I forget what it's called. It's like it has metal beads on like a ridged surface, and then you like move it with your hand. Whoa, pause. But then it kind of makes like that sort of sound. There's some other percussive instruments that can do that. Kind of maybe even sounds like it's just maybe like something they did and then put production on top of it to make it sound like that. Maybe sandpaper, maybe rubbing their hands together like that. Something of, you know, to that effect. It's not a very important part. Well, everything, you know, Vessel does is musically important. It has its place, but it's not a huge thing. It's kind of just like one or two beats that you hear this. So just something I noticed there. Very different sound. Okay. Ooh, I hear some really high-pitched stuff coming up in the back. Okay, so that's actually I think this might be a hot take or kind of confusing to some, but in my opinion, even given the songs I've heard already, The Summoning, Caramel, songs that I did out of order, obviously, because I didn't really think I was going to do the entire discography when I first started, because I had no idea what to expect when I started reacting to Sleep Token. But that actually might have been the most different sounding vocal in a Sleep Token song so far. And I know that may seem crazy because we have screams, but that's kind of separate. That's its own type of thing. But in terms of raw vocals, it actually is pretty bare bones. Like, obviously there is a filter on there, and there's always gonna be pitch correction going on for a studio album, but they kind of broke that down. Vessel's voice is prominent. It's the most prominent thing in the mix by far, and it's actually powerful. His voice sounds powerful. So this is him confessing and kind of like confiding. So missed a lot of lyrics there. Let's go back and kind of break that down. So if you want to give, this is the chorus. So if you want to give, then give me all that you can give, or give me all that you can give, all your darkest impulses. And if you want to give me anything, then give in again. Okay, so I don't even understand how anyone would argue that that's not Sleep's point of view, because this is clearly, if you look at it from Sleep's point of view, this makes complete sense. So if you want to give, then give me all that you can give. This is very manipulative statement. So if you want to give, then give me all that you can give. That's like, bro, that's like, don't just give me this whatever, your devotion. Give me everything. Give me every single part of you. So that is very, bad, very evil. All your darkest impulses, and if you want to give me anything, then give in again. Ooh, so all your darkest impulses. Is this good? Again, I know that there's lore and I'm going to learn about it, but, and I know that there's the sleep, and there's, sleep is the deity, and vessel is, the vessel of the deity's sleep. But man, and kind of just focusing on sundowning here for a second, it's, again, you guys are informing me it's a condition of dementia. When things start to go down, that's when you start to forget. That's when kind of the whole illness kind of sets in, sort of thing. But this, to me, and it's giving me super strong vibes of this being one person. Sleep and vessel being the same person in the same brain, split into two. Maybe we're talking about some schizophrenic situation, some multiple personality disorder situation. Maybe this is just one way to interpret it. Again, art is in the eye of the beholder. But man, oh man, kind of just setting the lore aside a bit, this sounds like internal struggle. This sounds like one person struggling with themselves, to me personally. So I'll tear the fiber from the filaments. I'll be the limits of your light again. Okay. I want to taste you better. I want to taste you better. All right, so there's definitely some wordplay in those two sentences right there. Tear the fiber from the filaments, limits of your light. So the filaments is obviously what burns in a light bulb, which makes it illuminate, which makes it make light. So the filament and then the light, we have that comparison there. So he'll tear the filament, the fiber from the filament. So like if this is from Sleep's POV, the sentence right here, he's going to extinguish that flame. He's going to pull the light out of Vessel. And again, that would make him part of the darkness, no? So that's kind of actually what it seems like what he's asking for and what Vessel's going to give. I'll be the limit of your light again. Ooh, so again, if we're looking at that as Sleep's POV, Sleep will be the limit of Vessel's light again. That's kind of saying Sleep is the limit to Vessel's light. He is the best thing he'll ever see. Sleep is the best thing that could ever happen to Vessel. I want to taste you better. I want to taste you better. Not so sure about that one. I'll be watching for your enemies to let them know that they contend with me. I want to know you're out there. I want to know you're out there. So I'll be watching for your enemies to let them know that they contend with me. Huh. So again, Sleep's POV, if I'll be watching for your enemies. So it's kind of like a double entendre sort of situation here, where Sleep is saying, yeah, I'll watch your enemies. I got your back, right? To let them know that they contend with me. But then it's kind of like a WWE turn heel moment, just so that they know I'm also one of your enemies. Or he's a friend. Kind of spinning that towards the Vessel point of view, if we're saying, okay, he's going to watch out for Sleep's enemies to let them know that they contend with him. So maybe that's a friend. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm creating narratives in my head I don't think I'm intended to create. But again, kind of sticking with that idea that I had of this being one person legitimately just battling with themselves internally. And then sort of like the stanza switches, where one stanza is one POV, one stanza is, the different POV. If it's from Sleep's POV, it kind of seems that those two sentences right there really seem dark and twisted and kind of sinister. But if we look at it from Vessel's POV, which I'm assuming give kind of is alluding to, it's more Vessel here, that it's friendly. It's like, I'm going to watch your enemies to let them know that they contend with me. Like, I got his back. Like, I got Sleep's back. I want to know you're out there. I want to know you're out there. Again, that kind of seems like Vessel to me saying, I want to know that you got my back, Sleep. So if you want to give, then give me all that you can give. Again, it's the chorus, all your darkest impulses. And if you want to give me anything, then give in again. I just want to give you all that I can give. Again, this is another thing where it just seems like it's 100% Vessel speaking right now. Want to give you all that I can give, all my darkest impulses. And if you want to give me anything, then give in again. But then again, it kind of switches to in my brain. Huh, interesting. So in this open warfare, ooh, I won't fight fair. So it's an open warfare. I won't fight fair. Okay, so no, I won't fight fair. And in your waking moments, I will be there. I will be there. Okay, so that seems pretty clearly from Vessel's point of view. So in this open warfare, in this thing we got going on where I want you so bad you kind of just use me and manipulate me, I won't fight fair. No, I won't fight fair. And in your waking moments, I will be there. I will be there. So super obsessive right there. Super obsessive. Like, so we got this battle going on, but I'm not going to fight fair. I'm not going to fight fair, and in your waking moments, I'm going to be with you. Like, I will prevail. I am going to make you want me. Super obsessive. And if you want to give, then give me all that you can give, all your darkest impulses. And if you want to give me anything, then give in again. I just want to give you all that I can give, all my darkest impulses. And if you want to give me anything, then give in again. Okay, so another sort of thing, which is feeding into my narrative, my made-up, created narrative in my own head, that it's the same person, or it's kind of switching points of view, rather, in the song. So in the same lyrics, sort of, at the beginning of the song, so it's if you want to give, then give me all that you can give, all your darkest impulses, and if you want to give me anything, then give in again. But later on in the song, it switches from, then give me all that you can give, all my darkest impulses, and if you want to give me anything, then give it. So it switches from all my darkest impulses. So, well, it actually starts with give me all your darkest impulses to give me to all my darkest impulses. The lyrics change. Then it ends. It goes back to all your darkest impulses. So again, that fits into my narrative of a flip-flopping point of view. All right, enough yapping. Let's get back to the song and let's finish it out. And a very cool bass build-up right here. Snake. Symbology of a snake. Okay. So very bare bones song once again. It's give. It kind of just seems like the vulnerability and kind of the obsession is, again, just growing at an all-time level. That Vessel is kind of just... He's like, I'm going to give my entire being to you. Like, this is it. I am giving everything to you. Whereas more of Take Aim was kind of like, notice me. This, even though it's kind of more of taken down, kind of more stripped away, maybe that's kind of symbolic of give. Sleep, or rather Vessel, just giving himself now, where it's just like, okay, I want you to notice me so very badly. Now I'm just giving my all to you. I'm just giving completely in. I am yours completely. I will give you all my darkest impulses. I will do whatever pretty much to get to you. I don't know. How'd I do? Anyways, guys, thank you once again for tuning into the video. Drop a hot thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel or you just like my style. And I will catch y'all on the next one. Later, guys.